We are back. And the lovely lady next to me is Miss Ingrid Griffith. Ingrid, good evening and welcome to CWS As It Is.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are quite welcome, Ingrid. Oh, let me start by asking who is Ingrid Griffith and how did she come to be involved with acting and theater?
Well, I am a writer, actor. I am Guyanese. I grew up in Georgetown until I was 12 years old. And I then rejoined my parents to America. And how did I get involved in acting? I think it started with coming to the city after college, getting a job, and seeing all the amazing things that happen in New York City and all of the opportunities. And I started doing some print work and some commercial work. And that led to my interest in trying some acting classes. And once I got into the acting classes, I sort of stayed.
So
Why?
you just
Up for it.
you just recently made a trip to Guyana. Tell us about that and tell us about the trip and opening night at the Theater Guild. What was
Well,
that like?
I wrote a one-woman show called Demerara Gold, and I it got selected to be a part of a festival last summer in July in New York City. And I met someone who was just visiting from Guyana, and she invited me to come and try to bring the show to Guyana at the end of the year. So with some her help and others, I got into Georgetown. I got there on July 14th. I did the show on the 17th. I did 5 shows actually. The crowd and the audience, the students, the audience, adults, young people, old people, all were amazing. I was so thrilled to be there, but this response was very surprising and overwhelming, and I was thrilled. I did it at the National Cultural Center on the 17th.
Hmm.
I went to Theater Guild on the 18th, and I performed out of town for high school students in Linden and New Amsterdam, and it was just amazing.
Wow.
Every,
Did
I
you?
got a standing ovation, by the way.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
I got a standing
Oh, congratulations!
National Cultural Center. Yes.
Congratulations! Why do you perform this play, Ingrid?
I'm sorry. Why?
Why do you perform this play?
Well, first I wrote it because I needed to say all the things that I've never said out in the open, and I thought it was a message that I can deliver through my story. So that's one reason why it's written, and why I'm performing it is because I'm an actor and I really love doing what I love to do, which is act. And I wanted to have the opportunity to show all these characters. I play 18 characters, and I wanted the opportunity to play all those characters because I knew them, and it would also show my range as an actor. This is all that I've been doing for all these years in acting classes, working on character work and scene work and finding the reasons for why characters do what they do and making adjustments to the body and the voice to become a specific character. So these were all the things that this play gave me an opportunity to do.
Ingrid, take us back to 9-year-old Ingrid, and what was her thoughts or were her thoughts about what she wanted to do when she grew up?
Oh, I wanted to be a teacher. I have lots. My dad was a teacher. My grandmother was a teacher. My great aunt was a teacher. I'm from a family of teachers, and that's all I saw in Guyana. So it was either a nurse or a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher. And,
Yes, go ahead.
and it's funny because I am still a teacher right now. I still teach, but that was a no-brainer for me. That's all I wanted to do. There was nothing else until I moved to America.
And when did this happen? When did this hit you that you wanted to act?
I think it's after college
Hmm.
and after seeing more opportunities as a young adult. I grew up on Long Island, but as soon as I finished college, I moved to the city and I got a job in the city, and I started, exploring. And I think that's when I thought maybe it might be a good time. I mean, subconsciously, I thought it might be a good time to try acting because I knew got it would bring it would bring me out more, if that makes sense. I needed to sort of come out of my shell and kind of like reborn again. And this was not consciously, but
Mm-hmm.
look, I think that's what that was. And I thought acting was a good way to explore different characters, be different, have different colors of myself come out, and still be okay with the person that's sort of much more reserved, which is really.
You have performed in front of various audiences, but I want to go back to Guyana because this is important. Um, what did you learn about yourself after or while you were performing or after you performed this play in Guyana? What did you learn about you?
Um, hmm. I just learned that I should more about that it's about stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word.
It's
About
still it's still what?
stick-to-itiveness,
Uh huh.
about
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
do the things that you really in your heart believe in. And even when those things don't look clear and they don't look possible at all, and people around you might not be able to move you forward. I mean, they might be blessing you and saying, I wish it could happen, but they really can't do much. But just in your heart, you know that you feel and can see something that most people aren't seeing. I think after the show at the National Cultural Center, I felt this is what I always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This project, where it is right now in Guyana, was where I would have wished it to be, and it has happened.
Congratulations.
Talking to my community, and they're getting me, and they're so thrilled. Thank you. It was an amazing experience.
Ingrid, you have you're an actress. You've been an actress for a while. So standing in front of an audience or the stage is no you're no stranger to those environments. Now, take us back. You talk about stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Take us back to the first time you were about to perform Demerara Gold. That very first time. And as you stood there, before you uttered the first sentence, first word, what was going? Do you remember what was going through your mind?
Well, first thing is to remember to breathe
Mm-hmm.
and trust that I knew I had the lines because I play 18 characters, so it's about uh, a lot of text. It's a lot of text, and I had to keep telling myself to relax, trust that I'm ready, I can do this, and try to have fun and just stay in the moment. Not worry about, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, this might not work. That might not. Just stay, trust that I've done all the work and stay in the moment and it's going to work out, which is easier said than done. I was
Yes.
nervous. I was really nervous backstage.
Are you hard on yourself?
I'm very hard on myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm tough on myself, but I also know that because I sort of do everything that I have to do so I can sort of relax, but still I don't relax.
How big is rehearsing for you?
I'm sorry?
How big is rehearsing for you?
It's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love the rehearsal process. I would, if I know I'm doing a show like in 6 weeks, I am willing to go to rehearsal every day, and I'm willing to stay there for as long as I can, as for as long as I feel like I've accomplished what I need to accomplish that particular day. And you do it small chunks at a time, so it's not like a big, you're taking it in small pieces. So that's how I like to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This discipline, Ingrid. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
No, I just take it in small bits.
So small bits.
Yeah.
This discipline you have, this focus. If you were to attribute it or them to your parents, well, let me shift this a little bit. While growing up, how would you say your parents influence or affected who you are today as this disciplined performer?
Well, I have to say that my parents were disciplined, very disciplined. They worked hard. When I came, I'm not going to tell a whole lot because I hope your listeners come and see Demerara Gold.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about my experience, so it's all about this stuff. But I remembered coming to the U.S. and rejoining my parents and seeing how hard they worked. They each had 2 jobs, and then my mom especially would come home and start dusting and cleaning and cooking, and painting the garage and fixing the flowers and having us involved, helping her do these chores. But it was like nonstop. And then she'd go to work, and then she'd go to her next job, and then she'd come home and sleep a little bit and do the same thing. And they did that for years. So I saw the hard work that they did to get a paycheck, to support us and for us to live as comfortably as we did. So I definitely believed in discipline. But also before that, my grandmother, who I grew up with, both grandmothers, they were pretty disciplined. My grandmother, Ada, who I talk a lot about in Demerara Gold. She's serious disciplinarian. So I think it started kind of laughing because, these days it's, writing it, I wasn't laughing as much, but now performing the characters, it's terrible.
At what point during your performances of Demerara Gold did you realize, I got it. I'm going to stick with this. What point?
I think after the festival, I did a festival, 7 shows last summer. After, I think they extended it because it was sold out. And the Guyanese community came out, my friends, other groups came out. I have friends from all backgrounds, and everybody supported me. And there was an extension. And that last show, they moved me to a bigger theater space. And at the end of that show, I said, this is it. I got it. This is a story that I am glad I'm telling. Although it's very personal and poignant, it's connecting with the audience. They're getting it, and it's like so amazing to have that feeling that people are with you, and hopefully I'm inspiring them to make change in their lives and make positive change. So I was thrilled after that.
Ingrid, you are disciplined, there's no doubt. And what you said about stick-to-itiveness and being focused and so on is very instructive, especially for young people. When you're human. And if there are times when you don't feel like going on that stage, who or what gets you out of that mindset?
I guess another self, another part of me, because it's all me. It's all in me. There's a part that's saying you now have an opportunity, and you can make a difference in one person's life tonight if you get on stage. And the thing is, once I get on stage, I'm fine. It's the before.
Yes.
So it's a matter of saying and accepting that I am here to deliver a message. Sometimes it's not about me. It's about a message that I have to deliver, and someone out there is ready to hear it. And my job is just to go out there and begin. And believe me, once I begin, the audience and the energy is so with me, I don't want to come off the stage. It's after an hour and 20 minutes, I can go again because I'm fed. And it's a dance, I'm sharing, but the audience is also sharing with me. I feel that energy, and that's what keeps me going, and that's what keeps me, that's what gets me on stage when I'm like not up for it.
One in the chat room asked, do you have any performances scheduled in the U.S. and Guyana this year? Oh, this is a perfect question. Did you hear the question? I know I got enthusiastic at the end. She asked if there is any performances in New York this year, New York or Guyana this year.
Well, there are 2 performances in February this month. One on the 21st on Saturday, February 21st. It's at 3:00. It's in Brooklyn, and I have a website, and all the information is on the website about both shows. The other show is on February 23rd, and that's a Monday evening. And I am going to be performing with another performer who's doing her solo show as well. But I'm only doing an excerpt from mine. I'm only doing a half of my show, and the other person's doing a half of her show. So it's a little more informal setting. But the 21st in Brooklyn, you can come and see the whole performance.
Ingrid, can you tell us your website address, please?
www.Demerara Gold, the show, one word, Demerara Gold, the show, demeraragoldtheshow.com.
demeraragoldtheshow.com.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk to us about your show on the 21st. But before you go there, tell us about this character, Mother Sally. For our listeners who are non-Guyanese, who
Well,
is Mother Sally?
well, here's the deal. What I know of Mother Sally, I knew when I was, a kid, and I'm going to talk from a kid's perspective.
Okay.
She is this. Well, it happens around Christmas time when there's a lot of masquerading going on, and they come down the streets, and you hear the flutes and the drums going on, and then when you look out the window, you see this tall lady, and she's on stilts, and she's usually like flailing. She's not like really steady because the person under her is like walking. So she's like flailing side to side and forward and back with this long dress on, and she has like really heavy makeup on, and she's very, very scary. And I'm assuming, as the adult, it's just some sort of authority figure, in terms of our story, our what's the word? When you're talking about things, cultures, and what affects our culture, it's somebody big and the mother of it all, supposedly coming and we're looking over us. That's what I would think. It's something like some sort of presence that to me as a kid was very, very scary. Some sort of authority figure, maybe. This is just my perception. But I remember it to be very grotesque and very scary. Am I right?
Yes, yes, yes.
You're like,
When, why did you include her, Mother Sally, this character?
she was made an impression on me as a kid watching the masquerade, because this is one of the scenes. My story starts with a masquerade on the streets of Guyana, and my mom telling us to look at the different characters. So she was pointing out Mother Sally to us. And, I remember as a kid, I would be like hiding behind my mom because this woman is so big and huge, and she's like leaning like if she's going to fall over us. So that's why I mentioned her in the show, because she was one of the major characters on Masquerade Day that I remembered. And the other character was the cow, the crazy cow, who would like run out of the masquerade into the kids, standing on the streets or on the bridge.
What is Ingrid? What is your greatest challenge about with this play? What is your greatest challenge?
Doing the character of my dad. It was a character that I did not want to do. I remember writing, when I was writing his lines, it was very well. Not all his lines, but there's conflict in the story, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic, it's interesting. And when so the writing of it was one thing, but when I had to become him, like stand like him and speak like him and say the words that he was saying, I was very, very, I didn't want to do it. That's when I got like, I can't do this. I'm not up for this. I want to do anything else but this character. And it was not it was something I had to move through.
What got you past that?
My acting coach. Exercises. It's like, I want to do something else. He's like, no, this is who we're working on today. And my director would say the same thing. It's just, I needed to, it was uncomfortable because it's my story.
Yes.
And it's things that happen, scenes that happen in my life that were painful.
Yes.
Now I have to recall them and then be them and be him. And that's the last thing I wanted to do. Especially those times when he was not making our lives or home a happy home.
What was it for you? What was the experience, the feeling for you after you did it? Not the first time, the second time.
Anger.
Kinda. Mm-hmm.
Anger.
Oh, anger.
Anger.
And how did you channel that anger?
How did I channel that anger? Probably I went exercising and breathing. And you know what? Trying to have some empathy for the character.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that these characters are me. if I'm playing them, I have to become them. And because of that, I had to understand why each person was going through whatever they were going through and saying what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Why, as a kid, I remembered it was like tension and it was like so uncomfortable. But when I'm playing that person who is making the situation uncomfortable to the kid, it's not really that person wanting to make that kid uncomfortable. That person's going through stuff, and that stuff is coming out in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So as an actor, I have to start to understand the character, what's going on with that person. And because of that, empathy comes into play, because I have to know what might be going on with that person, for that person to be cold or sharp or too abrupt or saying words that are painful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have to make these occasional journeys into the past and embody these people.
Yeah.
Do you find that you have that doing their character and becoming them, do you find yourself becoming more empathetic or really?
Yes, definitely more empathic.
Okay.
Definitely. I think that's the catharsis. That's what has happened from this play, which I didn't know it would have happened as much as it has. But I've been doing this for about 2 years. I've been writing for 2 years, and I started doing the show last July, so it's about 8 months or so now, or 6 months or so.
Have you tweaked?
I did the story for a while, and I definitely have more empathy for all my characters. I understand them much more, and it makes me have a better relationship with my family members. Because of, yeah, definitely. I'm not pissed off. I understand, and I forgive more, and I'm happy that I've gotten past it, and I'm telling a story and have a message because of that, and helping others, I hope.
What do you think you learned, or among the things that you learned about yourself, which one are you most happy you learned?
About having faith, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Having faith in myself and having faith in people as well. It's important to have faith in those that are in your circle.
Awesome.
People that are in your world, it really is.
This show that's coming on that you're performing, this performance on the 21st, what are you hoping the audience will come away with?
I hope they say when they see it, number one, I hope they laugh.
Well,
and I hope they also say that is so true in a lot of ways. Authentic in just the expression of it and the telling of it, I hope. And that even if something resonates or if it doesn't, that they think that they felt that was something very honest and something important that I shared. And that they got something on some level from it that they can take away and move them forward in whatever they're doing.
Ingrid, I have seen the show, and there isn't a time when that I hear you or I hear you speak that I don't laugh. And if this is not too much, is it possible to give us a 2-minute glimpse of Demerara Gold?
Well, I'll try. How about that?
Try.
All right. So I'm going to jump in. Dawn, I can't stop waiting until we all go to America. In America, I'm going to have my own toys and my own bicycle and my own bedroom. Dawn, don't go to sleep. Ingrid, Dad's still not home. Did you hear Mom say that we should go to bed, that school's tomorrow? So, how could you sleep at a time like this? Dawn, she's my big sister. She's 9 and I am 7. She is this tall and I am this tall. People mistake us for twins. Dawn and I, we look alike, but we sure don't act alike. Like tonight, I'm going to stay here, right here, in this bed with my eyes wide open so I can hear the news tonight. letter from the embassy came. I finally had to open it. Well, good news? Mostly, thank God, here. I don't know what to do with this. This here is a disruption. Our Prime Minister, the Honorable Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, may be turning our dear land of Guyana into Russia. But life is hard everywhere. We here watching everybody leave the country. Can't wait to drop everything and run to America like mongoose. This is our country, Gloria. Our people work like jackasses in them sugarcane fields and in their mines as we build this land. You forget? And not for nothing, but having people call out Mr. Griffith and Morning Gloria when we walk down the streets means something. Being around your own people means something. Tell me, when things get hard in America, who you think is the first ones to get the hit? You have to do an inventory check. You have to reconsider.
Ingrid, thank you so much for that. I mean, I am sure the audience is amused by that. Ingrid, you make us laugh. What makes you laugh? What makes you laugh out loud?
A lot of things. I love humor. I am up for jokes. I'm up for anything funny, and I laugh pretty easily. Anything can make me laugh. When I think of my grandmother, I laugh because she was something else. She would like tell these stories. I think that's where I got this whole storytelling thing from. But she would tell stories, and you'd be on the floor because she's playing the characters, and she just changes. And I'm hysterically laughing, and then she says, "You always laughing, you know."
Ingrid, what is one of the most moving compliments you have received? I know you've gotten a lot, but what is one that really touched you deeply?
One was that I am the Whoopi Goldberg of Guyana.
Ah.
Very interesting because I like Whoopi Goldberg as an actor and as a person, actually.
How appropriate.
I loved her. She did a one-woman show many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw it on stage. I was young, but when I was doing this show, I went to the library and I took the took it out and watched it. And she was amazing. She did it like in the 80s. And I think that launched her career. So I'm hoping this launches mine.
Well, Ingrid, wanted to say, great. Can't wait to see it, but I am on the site, but I do not see the shows listed.
You sure? It's www.demerara-go-the-show. And
oh, she said she just found it. She just found it.
Performance. It's a page that says performance, and then it's going to be a page that says show dates.
Yeah, she's found it.
Great.
She's found it. Ingrid, yeah. Thank you. Is there anything you want to say before you get off? Before you leave us, anything you want to say?
Well, I just would love for the audience to come and support our culture and celebrate our culture and support theater. I think it's the arts is a great way to deal with what's going on in our lives and to see how we could make change. And I'm very much for positive change. And I also love to be entertained. So come on down and hopefully I'll see you there. And please, if you do come, stay after so I can say hi.
All right, I will. Thank you so very much, Ingrid.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.